It's good with y'all, boys, man. It's another day. All glory to God. With another trade recap. I'm gonna keep these coming out for you guys just to give you guys as much value and sauce as I can. Today was an $8,000 day. I don't know the exact amount, but I made 6K across one express. On top step, I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna refresh so y'all can see 6.2K, and then across my two qualified Alpha Zero accounts, had $897 across two accounts. So on a high time frame, we're still trading bearish. We've been on this bearish trend literally all week besides Monday. Every single day we've taken out Asia lows. We took out Asia lows as a prominent draw Tuesday, took out Asia lows and the London lows as a prominent draw Wednesday, and did the same thing again today. But today I wanted to take out Asia low and New York AM low, but we had actually taken that out pre-market, as you can see on the 1 minute. This is what I had marked out here. I didn't actually take this trade, but I marked it out because this was the exact setup that I would have took according to my model down to New York AM lows. So you can see that shit would have smacked. So unfortunately, I missed that trade coming to market open. However, we were still chopping around. The next draw on liquidity I had lower since we were down trading on the low time frame and high time frame was right below us at 7:48 a.m. I wanted to just take out that draw. And then besides that, the only other draw was a draw for fucking November below us before we were in no man's land up until like this next draw down here. But again, every single day this week, we've literally opened and just immediately taken out the draw on liquidity I wanted to get. So 2 days this week, I haven't traded. Yesterday, I got a trade to the draw on liquidity. So today, I hold for the same thing. But again, as you can see, that did not pan out. So we open and we immediately dump and take out New York AM loan. So at this point, there was no entry model here. There was no retrace sequence. There was no 1 minute pullback sequence. So we just completely inverse this move off the rip. Fortunately, didn't get an entry in. Again, I do not enter off of the 9:30 a.m. candle because this is the easiest time to get manipulated the fuck out of a trade trading New York. So I do not trade 9:30 a.m. I always wait a minute or a few minutes to open. And you can see the next candle push down. We had an aggressive pullback and then we continue to push down. Again, the draw on liquidity was prominent. We took that and we immediately reversed. So at this point, I didn't really get no entry sequence into any of these draws. At this point, I'm neutral. I'm seeing what market's going to do. If we did run lower, I probably wasn't going to trade today. I'm going to keep it a buck just because we already took out the two draws on liquidity. I wanted to target as a continuation trader. So we end up inversing this move, this open move. We end up strongly displacing higher off of this move right here. And so all I wanted to see here was a small 1 minute pullback and continue higher. The only reason I flipped bias here and I didn't go short is because of this strong displacement out of this candle right here. We had a fair value gap resting below here as well that we displaced out of. Completely inverse this 9:30 a.m. move with strong displacement up to the upside. And again, since we are on an overall downtrend, I don't want to target anything too crazy high up here just because it's probably not going to play out since we are continuing a bearish downtrend on the higher time frame. So I waited for a pullback sequence. We tapped into this 1 minute fair value gap and 5 minute fair value gap right here. And then we displaced very nicely out of it right here. And this is where I entered at the top of this candle right here. Once we get our change of state of delivery higher, I had my break even set at this internal high right here. Again, I was just going for a nice little almost 1 to 2 hour trade. Once we cleared here, I went break even on the trade, and this was a risk-free trade at the moment. And then I was just targeting these 5 minute highs from right here, which is also Asia lows that we took out pre-market as well. So again, draw liquidity was pretty valid in my eyes, and we ran and took that out pretty quickly, and then immediately reversed off of that Asia lows. And then if you play it out over time, we eventually ran a little bit higher, but not too much. And then as you can see, if we skip a little bit more ahead, you can see we actually reversed and completely tanked after that move, which is why targeting a strong draw on liquidity and a prominent draw on liquidity is very valid to be trading like this as a continuation trader. Now, if I did stay patient, I probably could have got a trade back to the downside to these other draws that we had lower. That probably would have been a more favorable setup. But again, market discretion is very, very key when trading over a longer period of time. You kind of get that market experience and discretion within the market. So me seeing this pattern multiple times, I knew that we weren't going to go down. If we were to reverse this move, we would have reversed right here to continue going lower, or reverse right here to continue going lower. But once we got this strong push back up with aggression and displacement, I'm like, all right, that's my telltale sign to target these 5 minute highs right here, go break even at an external 1 minute high, and let the rest of the position ride out. So yeah, that was the trade that we took today. Overall, a flawless executed day. So looking to secure about 7K in payouts next week across both platforms. I'll keep you updated on how that goes, and I'll see y'all guys in the next recap.